Today, we're going to start off with the end of an era as Russell Westbrook announced his retirement. And honestly, I was more emotional about it than what I thought I would. Like, Russ has meant more to me than what I think I realized. So we're going to talk a little bit about Russ and reportedly how he decided to walk away, even amidst deals and offers from other teams. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Plus, we're going to talk about Tyrese Haliburton saying he's 100% ready to go by the start of the season, and the Cleveland Cavaliers traded Dennis Schroeder. And any other moves coming? We're going to talk about all that plus more right after this.
Welcome to the number one place for your daily basketball news and analysis, NBA CBA.
What's going on, basketball fans? Welcome to another episode of the Full Court Podcast. My name is Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow us at the Full Court YT on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into it, man. Russell Westbrook has retired from the NBA officially, and he did so with a great video that I think was just amazing overall. And, you know, when you look at it, like the question that you always ask about a player's career when it's over with, there's no doubt that Russ is headed to the Hall of Fame. There's just no doubt. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Let's not even question it. Russell Westbrook is going into the Hall of Fame. He deserves to be a Hall of Famer. But the question was that, you know, was this the perfect ending for Russ? Russ, who is going to finish his career, unfortunately, never winning an NBA championship, despite being a player that's on his way to the Hall of Fame. That's not to say, I mean, there's a lot of Hall of Famers that never won an NBA championship, right? But, like, he left with offers still on the table. Now, his agent has since come out and has talked a little bit about, you know, money for veterans and offers and stuff like that. But I'll say this, the one thing that you can take away from this, now, it may not be the perfect exit, but he got to leave when he wanted to. He left before the league decided that they were over him. And that's the thing. After 18 seasons, his resume is complete. Like, the only thing that you could possibly say is missing off his resume is the fact that he didn't get to win an NBA title, right? He avoided being forced into a severely reduced role, right, that he may have not wanted anyway. And there is power in choosing the way that you end. And that just goes to align with how Russell Westbrook spent his career. He played his way. That's what Russell Westbrook did. He played his way his entirety of his career. And through his tenacity, the way that he played, his undying love for basketball, all those type of things led him to this, right? Now, of course, there are going to be people that say he could have played one more season. And yeah, he could have. Reportedly, both the Wizards and the Kings made him offers and had interest in there. He still had playmaking. He still had some athleticism. And he still had that competitive fire. But that was always going to be Russell Westbrook. There's never going to be a chance. Like, Russell Westbrook could be 56 years old and he'll still have that competitive fire, right? And of course, like, you know, we heard that the Kings may have wanted him to mentor Darius Acuff and things like that. Like, that's great, right? They could have did that, but Russ got to leave on his terms. And I'm sure Russell Westbrook would have wanted an NBA title, but like I said, he did it the way that he played his career, and that is his way. For better or for worse, Russell Westbrook played his way, and he did it that way, and he was able to make an amazing career out of it. Like, I know people are going to say about the triple-doubles and all those type of things and what he was able to do, but, like, you could talk about it. Like, the thing about with Russell Westbrook is that there's always going to be that conversation with whether he was underappreciated for his greatness or if he was just a complicated guy that put up stats. Like, you look at it, he averaged 20 points, almost 7 rebounds, and 8 assists for his career. That's what he did. He owns the record at 209 triple-doubles. He won the MVP in 2017. He carried the Oklahoma City Thunder emotionally after Kevin Durant left. His motor, his explosiveness, his competitiveness, everything. They were absolutely historic, and that's why I say there's no question he deserves to be a Hall of Famer. The style that he played as well, right? You know, it did create some questions in playoff atmospheres and stuff like that. The efficiency debate is going to be something everybody has about him. And while people like to talk about his three-point shooting, I think when you look at it, he went from a player that didn't really take threes to at points of his career taking over 5 3-pointers per game and hitting it between 32 and 34%. No, he was never an amazing three-point shooter, but he showed a willingness and an ability to even increase the volume there and was slightly below league average on most of those years, but it was still that. When you look at what he's done, this guy's the triple-double king. He's an historic achievement. What he was able to do with the NBA for his career is there. That's it. You can't take away from it. There are so many things that could define the greatness of Russell Westbrook that you're there. The record that he has is going to stand for a very long time, and I think he's a guy that made an overall impact. And while there are some narratives around him that his teammates always fought against, those type of things, it's there. The story for Russell Westbrook is always going to be a complicated one and always going to be a multi-layer one that you can have depending on your own view of Russell Westbrook. But I tell you this, Westbrook is a guy that's just He's amazing, man. And what he was able to do, you cannot take away from. Now, like I said, even with this agent, calling things out about NBA and the money for veterans and all that type of stuff, I get it. Don't get me wrong. People are going to look at it and say that's sour grapes from his agent and stuff like that. But I love the fact that Russ was able to go out in his way and, say what you will about that. But I love the fact that Russ was able to do that. Moving on from that, let me know down below your thoughts. How do you feel about Russell Westbrook's career? Do you believe that he's a Hall of Famer? Do you think for some reason he's not a Hall of Famer? Even though I don't agree, I would love to hear your takes if for some reason you don't think Russell Westbrook's a Hall of Famer. And how much is him never winning a title do you hold against the amazing resume that he still has as a player? Let me know that part down below. With that said, let's move on. Tyrese Haliburton is now confirmed he's going to be ready by the start of the season. I don't think there was a lot of questions, but it's good to hear from him. From his mouth. He said this. I saw a report that was like, sources tell me how Tyrese will be healthy. I am the source. I can tell you I am healthy right now. I feel great. I'm doing everything. Playing pickup pretty regularly. At this point, I feel great, and I will be ready for the season. If the season was today, I'd be ready. It can't come fast enough. I love hearing that from Tyrese Haliburton. This is a Pacers team that could very well be better than what it was when it went to the finals. A lot of that hinges on how healthy and ready to go is Tyrese Haliburton. Not to say that he's not healthy, right? But as we've seen with that Achilles thing, even like Jason Tatum last year, there are going to be some games where you just don't have it, right? And I think when you look at it, the question that everybody's asking is, does a healthy Tyrese Haliburton put Indiana right back in the picture of the Eastern Conference? I think the side of this that you want to say yes on is that, listen, 18.6 points per game, 9.2 rebounds in 2024-25. He was the engine of Indiana's offense. And when he was out, the Pacers missed his pace, they missed his passing, they missed his control in the half court, his creation in that as well. A healthy Tyrese Haliburton with this roster that the Indiana Pacers have is absolutely going to make their presence known in the Eastern Conference picture. But how much will they? That's where the question, right? Achilles injuries are serious. And being ready for camp is not the same thing as being on a grueling when you're playing 3 out of 4, 3 out of 5 days, stuff like that, right? And Indiana's going to manage that workload early in the season. They should do that, right? The East has changed also a lot since Tyrese Haliburton went down. There are a number of teams. Like I said, there are 8 to 10 teams in the Eastern Conference that you can make a legit conversation for going far in the playoffs next year, right? And so that time, paired with how long it may take him to find that explosiveness and that rhythm again, there's going to be long stretches where Tyrese Haliburton looks absolutely like the Tyrese Haliburton that left. There are going to be some stretches as well where he just doesn't have it. That's going to happen. It's naturally when you're coming back from an Achilles injury. But the question that I want to ask here is, what is the ceiling for the Pacers? How do you view that? I think that they can still be a real contender next year. I think when you look at them and the elite offensive organization that Tyrese Haliburton brings there, his shooting, all that type of stuff, the balance that they have on this team, you look at them, they'd be returning 4 out of the 5 starters when they went to the NBA Finals. Pascal Siakam is going to benefit from everybody, from Nembhard to Nesmith, right? And Zubac. I think that he is a better center paired for how they're going to go. Yes, you don't have the ability to space like Miles Turner brought, but Zubac's going to be a better rebounder, a better rim defender, a better pick and roll partner for Tyrese Haliburton as well. Then you still look at their bench. Obi Toppin's still on that bench. They got Kelly Oubre Jr., who they brought in. TJ McConnell's still there. This is going to be a fun basketball team to watch. And I do think there's a chance for them to still be that real contender. But I do think that they are in the area where they're a threat, but not necessarily the favorite right now. Now, that can change. 3 months into the season when you actually get to see the Tyrese Haliburton get over that hump. But so many teams have gotten better in the East once Tyrese Haliburton was out that you're not just going to walk right back in and going to pick up right where you left off, more than likely. I mean, I say that I'm talking about the probability, not the possibility. So we'll see what happens there. But I do think the East is a loaded East. And the Pacers are going to absolutely make their presence felt in that Eastern Conference. The question becomes about how much of a can they be the favorite? Or are they just going to be a team that with the right matchups and things like that you just can't overlook them? And I think either spot is great for them to be in, considering where Tyrese Haliburton is coming back from after missing an entirety of the year. We're going to see what's going to happen here. I love it. I love the fact of how Tyrese Haliburton's back. I think the Eastern Conference is going to be very fun each and every night. But I want to hear from you guys on this one down below. Do you think that the Pacers are going to go right back to being a favorite in the East? Or do you see them as a threat, but not necessarily a favorite? Because those things are wildly different. Let me know what you guys think on that part down below. With that said, next topic, the Cleveland Cavaliers have traded Dennis Schroeder for Trey Mann. And this is a salary move in regard. I don't even know if you can say that. I like Trey Mann. I think that the the salary flexibility that they get is great. You clear Schroeder's salary, right? You keep the Cavs stay further below the second tax apron, and this move supports the James Harden negotiations, but may still open the door for Peyton Watson to come, right? And so this looks like the move before the move, right? That's what this seems like right now. Now, I do think Trey Mann has tremendous upside as well. You know, he gives them another guard option, which they're going to need. He may fit better as a low-cost option for how they were going to play Dennis Schroeder. I like that as well. And then, you know, the Cavs get more flexibility without just not getting nothing back, which is a special thing to do. So the question now becomes, are the Cavs just clearing space for Harden, or are they still planning a pursuit of Jonathan Kuminga or Peyton Watson? Of course, James Harden comes first. They're going to make sure James Harden's there. They helped them reach the Eastern Conference Finals. You know, they're discussing reportedly a 2 or 3 year deal, and his contract is going to shape how the rest of the things kind of fit together for them, right? But I do think this move is still about another move coming. There's just no way around it, right? Hearing that it may take them out of Peyton Watson, but it may put them in the area of being able to get Jonathan Kuminga as he's an unrestricted free agent. There's no doubt that the Cavs need another wing. They need another forward. So now clearing Schroeder's salary, it opens up and makes sign and trade possibilities a little bit easier for that Cleveland Cavaliers team as well. And so we'll see what they're going to do in that. As far as the Hornets, I love this because now you get another point guard in here who can distribute. Kobe White's never really been that type of point guard, even though he can do those type of things, right? It brings him as well back with Jeff Patterson and Charles Lee from the Atlanta days where Dennis Schroeder was. The veteran guard experience that he's going to bring for this team that just traded away LaMelo Ball is going to be huge there, right? Now, I do think that the rotation is getting to the risk of being a little bit crowded. You have Kobe White there. You had Dennis Schroeder there as well, joining now his 12th franchise. What does this mean for Anderson, right? And those type of things. But overall, I think that this is a move that shows that the Hornets aren't completely counting themselves out of going on another playoff run like some people have counted it out as doing. We just got to see how this is going to work out in the long run for them. But I love this move for the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think it's a smart move. I think it's an aggressive move. And I think it's one that shows that, I love it for the Cavs and I love it for the Hornets. I think both teams got exactly what they want from this. And now the Hornets get to go out there with another guard, add some depth and creation there and some defensive ability too. And we're going to see what's going to happen in regards to that. So I love this. I love this move for both teams. And it just goes to show, again, NBA offseason is not done until training camps open. And even then, there's always that one move that comes right when training camps open or right before that kind of disrupts some things too. So look out for that. With Jalen Duren, Peyton Watson, Jonathan Kuminga being names that are still out there, as well as veterans like DeMar DeRozan and others, there's still a number of deals that can get done that can still impact teams absolutely. So let's wait and see how that's going to work out. But that's going to do it for today's episode. I want to appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys sound off on all the topics down below and how you feel about them. You guys can like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode or an upload. You can follow us at The Full Court YT. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. The Full Court Podcast, NBA Central Show at gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We're the number one spot for everything basketball related. And I'll catch you guys the next time I feel like making an episode. Maybe tomorrow. Peace, y'all.
Been a presentation of the Breaks Media.